Yo, check out this phone stand I crafted from concrete. Not only it's easy on the eyes, it's a super handy tool for daily use. In this video, I'll walk you through how I made it, from the first sketch to the finished product. Welcome to Create Easy. Let's kick things off with a bit of visualization. To me, nothing beats a clean, simple design. First up, I'll decide on the size and shape. You gotta think about what gadget you are making this for. Then I realized I need some texture, so I started brainstorming. I love hiking, and I thought of my favorite spot in the mountains. What if I used the contour lines from a topographic map? I mean, they do look really cool, right? I pulled out my favorite spot on Google Maps, switched to terrain mode, and snapped a screenshot. Then I traced the contour lines on a new layer to give them more definition. To see what it might look like, I scanned it into a sketch and added the contour lines I drew. I branded my product by adding a logo. Next up, it's time to print the texture and the logo. I tried to texture in a few different sizes to figure out what would look best on the actual model. To make the first model, I'm gonna use a modeling clay. It's super flexible and can be any shape you want. And I've got some modeling tools to help me out. Then, I need to create a mold. I'm gonna use PVC foam board so the liquid doesn't soak in. Don't forget to seal all the gaps so the plaster doesn't leak. Mixing up some water and gypsum plaster is the next step. Let it dry for about an hour. Once it's set, you gotta do some touch-ups until the plaster is completely hard. Once it's rock solid, I gotta work with some sandpaper. For a smooth finish, I used wet sandpaper and then give it a plaster coating. One important step is getting the image and the logo onto the model. I made a special cut on the paper to figure out which part of the texture and what size would work best for the model. You don't want the texture too small, or it might break in the future. To get the texture on there, I'm gonna use carbon paper. You gotta press down a bit when you draw the lines. It might not all be super clean, but you can see the indentation left from the pen, so you can trace over them with a pencil. I did the same thing with the logo. Before you pour the silicone, double check that everything is sealed and nothing's gonna leak. I'm using a 2-part silicone, which you mix in equal parts. After letting it dry for a whole day, I finally got to remove the model and clean it up. Next, it's time to pour the concrete into the silicone mold. I let the concrete dry for about 80 hours. Sometimes air bubbles can form. It's easy to fix by making a solution and filling in these areas. I tried out regular paint, but the best look, I'd suggest using colored cement powder. For the first few days, you gotta keep the concrete models moist to avoid cracking. Now I'm just playing around with the surface a bit. And the final product. In my opinion, I think I nailed it. A simple but eye-catching design. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and subscribe. See you on the next video.